Hi. So I've been desperate to do this for such a long time, make some cooking videos, and I've always put it off and said so many reasons why I couldn't do it. And now that we're all at home, I have really run out of excuses. So welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my first video. I thought I'd start with something fairly straightforward and fairly easy, and come up with Scottish shortbread, which is a recipe which really only has 3 main ingredients, and also as a mathematician it really appeals to me because there's a certain order to it. If you're looking at this system that uses weights, it's basically 6 ounces of flour, 4 ounces of butter, 2 ounces of sugar. So we've got a 3-to-1 ratio, and in the cup system it's 1 cup of flour, half a cup of butter, and 1/4 cup of sugar. So that's somehow very, very pleasing for me. Now you can go on to further subdivide the flour. What I've been doing recently is splitting it, doing 4 ounces of flour, like regular plain flour, all-purpose flour, and then 2 ounces of either semolina or rice flour, but those are 2 ingredients that I didn't normally carry in my cupboard, so I'm assuming that nobody really has them either. So we're going to stick with the 3 basic ingredients, and what you're really looking at is just a nice wee bit of shortbread to have with your afternoon cup of tea, which can be made very, very quickly with what you've got lying around. So I'm going to take a bowl, and we're even going to do this the old-fashioned way, because my mixer's way over there, and I couldn't quite figure out how to get the camera to be on my mixer. So we're going to just do it here with a good old-fashioned bowl and a wee wooden spoon. So I'm going to start off with 4 ounces of Kerrygold butter, because I have been told by a very good friend of mine, Lynn Cordner, thank you very much, that grass-fed butter is now actually regarded as a health food, so it doesn't get better than that, does it? So we're going to take 4 ounces of butter, and we're going to take, I'm using cup measurements, so this is a 1/4 cup of sugar, which just actually turns out to be around about 2 ounces. So we're going to put that in, and then you can watch me mixing it. I've had the butter out for a wee while, so it's softened, and there's something quite nice about doing these sort of things by hand. It gives you a sense to really understand and appreciate it, and maybe feel that you've deserved to have 1 or 2 once they're made. So I'm just going to get that all mixed together, and I could tell you a wee bit about myself while we're doing that. I'm assuming anybody who's watching this really already knows who I am, but my name's Carolyn, and I'm originally from Scotland, but I have been living in America for the last 18 years. I had a wee bit of time living in Copenhagen, spent 3 years there, which was fantastic. Very, very fun. Gave me a chance to get back to Blighty on a regular basis. But we came back to America about a year ago, and it's been really lovely being back. I have a small, totally amateur catering company, which I'm putting on hold just now because there are people in this country who really need to earn money by cooking for other people. So I want to just stay well out of their way and do all I can to support them. But I thought it wouldn't do any harm to just do a wee bit of baking online, maybe a wee bit of cooking, since I spend most of my life standing here. And in a minute I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what I'm normally looking out at. So anyway, so I've just creamed the butter, you can see. That doesn't take too long, as long as your butter's soft. And by all means, put it in a machine and get that to do it for you. But I just thought it would be more fun to do it this way. And then we're going to just add the flour. So when I measured the flour, the cup, it actually comes out to maybe like a slightly heaped cup is 6 ounces. So go with that. And that's just regular all-purpose flour. And we're going to just take a spoon. And again, if you've got a mixer will do this for you in seconds. But just keep going. So anyway, as a wee girl, my mother was very kind and let me loose in the kitchen. So I think I baked my first cake when I was about 8 years old. It was a complete and utter disaster. And my parents ate it anyway and told me it was delicious, which is just the sort of encouragement you need to give your children. And then just kind of let me loose. So whenever I was kind of bored or at a loose end, I would go and bake something. And the wonderful thing with baking is it's kind of immediate. You can start and within the hour you can have something that's totally edible. I am finding this is taking a wee bit longer than I thought to do, so just, you know, speak upon yourselves. Do we need to get this a little bit more bound together? You see, I haven't done this before. I normally just throw it in the machine. What I figured out is the spoon will only get you so far. After that, you really just need to go in and start pulling it together. A little bit like pastry, you need to just use your hands. You don't want to work it too much. But then just start getting a ball of it together. And there's enough butter in here. It's a very, actually it's a much higher recipe. It's a 2 to 1. So it's much richer than pastry, which we may come to another day. And then what you're going to do is just turn it using your fingers. You want to just do it into a sort of a bit of a log, which you can see here. And what I am going to do with this is I'm actually going to roll it in sugar. And we'll get a wee bit of a crunch around the outside. So you want to just keep doing that with the mixture that's there, and this will give you three rolls. Just do it with your hands like this, rather pleasing. Like that, just roll it slightly. And then the last wee bit we'll take out. Gather all these crumbs together. And what we're going to do with this is once it's done, we're going to wrap these in cling film and we're going to leave them to rest like all did. So we're going to get a little bit of sugar. I'm just going to put some on here. And we are going to roll these rather uneven shortbread loops, and we're going to wrap them in some saran wrap, cling film, and put those in the fridge for about 20 minutes to chill. So let me just get those out of the way, and I would normally wrap each of them individually, but I'm a bit lazy just now. And I'm going to get one that I did earlier, slightly more uniform in size. And I'm going to show you that it's just a slice and bake. So you're going to cut them all about, around about 3 millimeters, 1/4 of an inch. Try and get them to be all the same size, or what you'll find is that they'll cook unevenly. I mean, I tend to keep an eye on them anyway. And then I bake them in a 350 oven, which is about 160, it would be 360 oven. And I start off with them about 8 minutes, and then I can just keep checking them after that. So we're just going to get a tray lined with a piece of parchment paper. And I would normally bake all of them together, but just to show you guys, I will do it this way. And we get a fork and just put 2 little dots in each one. Just because it makes them look a little bit more professional. So then just put them in the oven for about, say, 8 minutes to start off with, but keep an eye on them. And in all good traditions. Tradition of Blue Peter, we have some that we made earlier, so let me just show you those. Plate, a pile of homemade shortbread. There. So what we need to do now is put the kettle on and call everybody in for a wee cup of tea. First video, yay!